Hello everyone, my name is Pooja Mishra, as you all know, and today again we are going to talk about how to speak English, spoken English. And in the previous class I already told you that you have to start thinking in English if you really want to be fluent in English. And when I say and when I spoke this particular sentence that you have to think in English to be fluent in English, so a lot of you will be thinking that I'm saying that you have to translate everything in English whatsoever your mother language or your native language is there. So I was going through a lot of comments which you guys have given in the previous video. So there was another person and he said that you are talking about spoken English and you should consider to communicate in Hindi. So I really appreciate your feedback for that thing. Thank you so much. And I will try in the coming part that how I can merge Hindi with English. The thing with India is that a lot of people, like our target audience right now is all over this particular nation, right, India. So like English is an assistant language for a lot of people for whom Hindi is not a mother language. In the same way, Hindi itself is also a assistant language for a lot of people. So it doesn't matter whether I am speaking in Hindi or English, both the language act as a bridge in India to connect people who have a lot of different languages. More than 22 languages are the official language of our country. So we cannot really rely that if I'm going to teach you in a Hindi, so I'm going to reach a lot of people. So my main motive, if I'm teaching you in English, then I should speak in English so that you have a better recall value or the understanding. You will be more familiar with the accent, with the pronunciation and everything. I can teach you in Hindi when I have to tell you how to translate the content from one language to another language, and there will be specific target audience from Hindi to English, and this is what not I'm focusing right now. Okay, so now moving to the point, how to think in English. So if you will try to type this keyword on YouTube, you will find a hell lot of video lectures on this particular part, and different people according to their capacity, their potential, their perspective, they are talking about this particular topic, right? And among them, I'm also one. Then why my content is different from the other people? So let me tell you, there is two videos which are very, very famous on YouTube, and they have a very good viewers with them. First video is from Josh Talk, and they have 1,02,986 something views. Right, so they have a huge target audience who are listening to it, and I'll be adding this particular video in the chat box. The link will be there in the chat box. Point number one. So when I'm saying this thing, you can go in the chat box, or you can go in the notification and the description section, and you can click on the video. What you will find that the person who is trying to tell you the essence, the meaning of English language itself, the spoken English is not good. Why? Because as I told you in the previous class, when we try to speak in English, our native language, the tone, the accent of the native language is quite visible over there, and that is why in North India, rather than saying study, people say is study. Rather than saying school, it is school. Rather than saying talk, it's talk. Rather than saying class, it's class. Rather than saying pen, it's pain, right? So there is nothing wrong with it, because you are just trying to merge your native language tone, or you are trying to merge English language with your native language. This is the main thing which you should not do it. And I think, according to my analysis and my calculation, a lot of people are not focusing on this particular point. And when you will be seriously practice for this particular exercise, how to start thinking in English, you will understand it eventually, because it's quite logical. Point number one. Now point number two, there is another video and this video is from LearnX, and there is a sir. He's quite proficient with his knowledge, and he's literally telling a lot of insight to you, and that is quite valuable, and he is also having a lot of views with it, but he is telling you how to think in English, not to translate it, but the main key points, the step, the instructions, the actions, or you can say when somebody is telling you not to think in your native language and to think in English. So basically at that point of time, you have to think about the grammatical rules which you apply when you speak different languages. So the grammatical rules, the construction of the sentences for English, for Hindi, for Gujarati, for Malayalam, for different languages it's different. And what we do, we try to apply same grammatical rule which we have for our native language to the foreign language, and that's the point where a lot of error happen. So you should have a sound knowledge of English language. That's the main idea. English language means English grammar, right? So the grammar rules should be on your tips. You should know the different ways of the construction of the sentences. Okay, you got the construction of the sentence as well. This is another important point. Moving ahead, what are the elements of sentences? Those are words. Words itself are prepositions, noun, pronoun, adjectives, verbs, right? And then they vary from time to time. Time to time means tenses, past, present and future. So they vary over there. Now you have to memorize these rules, these sets, and you have to feed this data into your mind before starting thinking in the English language, right? That's the main idea. With that, the another part is tenses, memorizing the tenses as well as increasing the vocabulary. So we have a rich vocabulary of our native language, and we just try to translate that rich language, those rich words into very basic and elementary words of English language. And that is why the repetition of the same words, the repetition of same sentences, the repetition of same construction of the sentences is over there, which ones need to keep in mind. And that's the error where you do not feel confident while speaking in English, and you itself feel that there is some of the other issue which is not visible to you. So these are the points which you need to keep in your mind. With that, first of all, learn the construction of the sentences, then tenses should be proper, and then your vocabulary. So three important elements, the three important pillars, and then they will combine together. And when you will have them clearly, then you will see that whatsoever you are thinking, that is eventually coming to you in English, because that data, that big background data is already fed to your mind. Now how to test it? How to try it? Okay, I said a lot of things, you got it, you did it. How to test it? Very simple. Entertainment is the biggest desire of human being all around the globe. So let's merge your English with entertainment. Pick any movie, pick any serial, pick any TikTok video in your native language and try to copy that thing in English. That's it. That's it. If you are able to do that, you are going to feel and sense changes in yourself. I'm no one to tell that thing. It's all depend on your practice, right? So you will have a better understanding and better idea how to do that part. Point number one. So role play. Then we have a great desire and great need, or you can say, the urgency of looking good, and that is why we click a lot of selfies, and females are very much famous for having a lot of selfies, and guys are also over there. So now do one thing now, when you are getting bored and if you are trying to make a TikTok video, so try to copy the accents of the Britishers or American or whatsoever the English tone or the accent you want to catch. The original tone of English is from Britain, British English, and then the people in Britain, the people in Australia, they have varied that tone, that pronunciation, that spoken part according to themselves. So it's a modification in the language, right? So for that you need to go ahead and learn more about the English language, study about the history of English language more to understand these ideas. So you did that part. Another part, use Google Translate. If some of the other sentences is coming to your mind and that is in Hindi or your native language, type that native language, type that sentence in the Google Translate and try to see that how Google is translating your native language thought process and expression into the English language. So that's the main idea which will really help you to find out the more insights or more understanding or more practice to be proficient in English language. Now the another important point and the last point of this particular video is, what will be the advantage if I will start thinking in English or any other foreign language? So there is a study, and I'll be sharing the link of the Wired website which has shared this particular study. So the study took place in US and Korea, and more than 300 people participated in this study. So what happened that they have observed after this experiment, and they told that the people, when they are able to think in more than one languages and specifically in foreign language, so what happened, their logical thinking, their critical thinking, their analytical viewpoint, their cultural understanding, as well as their rational thought process, it gets polished, it gets refined, it gets upgraded, and it has a lot of benefits in seeing different perspective, because language contains culture with it, and once you understood the language, you understood the culture. And that's all I have for you. In the next class, I'll be bringing few exercises for you so that you can practice, and I will be bringing some comic aspect to it, and what it will be, you have to wait for it in the next video lecture. Thank you so much. Have a nice day. Be safe. Bye.